You're listening to Supervision with a Vision, where we discuss all things supervision. I'm your host, Sarah, professional counselor, marriage and family therapist, play therapist, eating disorder specialist, and cookie lover, with my co-host, Heather, marriage and family therapist, certified Together in Texas counselor, a Texas transplant from California, and outdoor adventurer. Hi, welcome to Supervision with a Vision. Today, Heather and I are talking about the titles we have been given. This week we read Prescriber, Provider, and Other Titles Doctors Despise, published in Psychology Today, 2025. Heather, introducing this, it makes me think we have really a lot to talk about with this. The article starts with, sometimes, I think a lot of times, we're given these titles, we don't necessarily choose them.
Sure.
Can you think of a title that you chose?
I mean, I guess technically I chose to be a therapist because I earned that spot, but I don't know that I ever have picked a title other than that.
Yeah. I mean, I was thinking mom.
Sure.
When the kids were born, did you want to be mom or mommy or...
Right. I don't think I picked. I kind of let every kid, and actually out of my 3 kids, they all went through a phase of like, I maybe it's a growing up thing. Like when it was mommy, one kid in particular called me mama, which I thought was so stinking cute. I never corrected, but his siblings tease him for that.
Oh, no. So even that was
it's kind of like, okay. Yeah.
But yeah, we do have a lot of professional titles that we're just given. I don't know that. Do you have one that you prefer? Like maybe when you introduce yourself in a work situation, or
if I'm in a work situation with like people that are counselors, therapists, I usually say I'm a therapist. It just is what I end up saying. It's not really. I don't give a lot of thought to it.
Yeah, tell me if this is true in your training. In my training, even more so in the doctoral program, the identity of a counselor became more important or more specific. Like that, like it was, they really talked more about the identity of a counselor versus the identity of a therapist or a psychotherapist or a whatever. I mean, any other synonym you could use. That became really emphasized for me. So now I think I self-identify, or if someone were to ask me, I would say I'm a counselor.
It's like what you've watered it down to after all the... Yeah, I was thinking as you were talking, I worked for a while kind of at a community outreach place, and they asked me what to put, like, and I was like, oh, well, what is that? There's only like 3 of us that were there. I was like, what do they put?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't want to put anything necessarily. And really, if you write out like licensed marriage and family therapist, it's now longer than my name. Like, so what do I want as my title that actually says what I am?
Yeah. And
so I was like, oh, counselor. Like, therapist feels a little too, sometimes, for community outreach, like, scary. So.
Well, the school program I was in emphasized counselor and the identity of a counselor because it was a counseling program.
Right.
I see, and through that, I do see the differences in training and perspective, and that's why then I use that. I'll say counselor more often than anything else. How about, has it changed over time? Have you changed what you call yourself?
Probably, yeah. I think I have. I think at the very beginning, having the word psychotherapist was like more of a prestige thing. I would only use it in work. I wouldn't use it anywhere else.
Sounded good.
Right, sounded pretty. And now I'm like, oh, please don't say that.
Oh, so at first it sounded prestigious, and now it sounds pretentious.
Right. I was like, please don't do that.
Interesting. I definitely would have called myself for a long time, specifically a play therapist, before anything else.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
I think for a while that was the most important part of my work identity, and it's changed. There are certain situations or settings where maybe I don't even mention that part.
Sure.
Kind of bums me out.
Yeah, you miss it a little bit. Yeah.
So some titles are given to us. Can you think of others? Those are specific because those are also our credentials. But psychotherapist isn't a credential, at
Nope.
least not in the United
Nope.
States. So that's something that we kind of anecdotally
Mm-hmm.
use. Can you think of others? The article used provider, prescriber.
Coordinator.
Oh, how do you feel about
I don't
coordinator?
like
Yeah,
coordinator.
yuck.
And I've had that title before. And I'm
Oh,
like, oh, mental health coordinator. What is that?
yeah.
Like, no thanks.
Huh. That
Or
is
like
confusing.
program coordinator, to
Yeah,
whatever
yeah,
said
yeah.
program. I don't know why I don't
Real.
like. Ooh.
Well, I mean, I think that's a really good example that it describes exactly what this article is talking about, that it was given to you,
Right.
that you don't feel like it really explains what you do.
Right.
And why was it given to you? Because that's where you were working at the time,
Mm-hmm.
or that's what
Right.
fit
Right.
in the model
Mm-hmm.
or the setting that you were at. So you don't like that one.
No, not really. I mean,
Um,
yeah, I think it can.
I don't really like provider.
No, I don't like provider.
What
And I don't even like it I don't like it for myself, but I don't like it in general. Like,
Like when if you were talking about your therapist, counselor,
right.
whoever they are that
I'm not going to say
works with
provider.
you. Yeah, you don't say provider. So you wouldn't say, I'm going to go see my therapist today. You would
Right.
say,
No, I probably would
you
say
was,
I would say I'm going to go see my therapist, or I have an appointment at the doctor later.
yeah,
Like,
not,
or
I'm
even
going to
the
see my
specific,
provider.
right. I'm going to go to the dermatologist. Like, I'm much more likely to
Oh,
say,
you get more
yeah,
specific. I don't know why provider in that saying it like that definitely feels like your drug dealer.
right. It may
Sounds
provide-
funny.
It does sound
I'm going
funny.
to go see my provider. I'm going to go see my guy,
But
my
it's
dealer.
corporate, right? I mean, it's like,
Sounds funny. So the next point in the article is that these titles that people
Right.
are using and applying to us can minimize us and what
Sure.
we do.
Sure. I think it can easily downplay, like coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody that's had the title of coordinator is probably like doing, in my view, like 90 things that you could call them. But like coordinator is something that's like a blanket, like, oh, they do these things and maybe some other stuff too. But I think it probably it's like a simplified version.
Like it feels to you like it's a catch-all
Yeah,
title.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which maybe that's intentional, right? Because if you
I'm sure.
can't
Yeah, I
pick
bet
out
it
one
is.
thing to say,
Maybe they do that in a corporate setting or a work setting because they do have people doing the same job, but like you and I, we have different credentials. So it might be a marriage and family therapist. It might be a professional
right.
counselor. It might be a psychologist or a certified art therapist or
Right.
something like. And so their background is different, their training is different, but they're all doing a job that's the
Similar-ish,
same
yeah.
thing because their training is similar
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah.
But it ends up taking away
What
like
they're
the
really doing.
unique training that you have,
Yeah.
or
Or like specifying any kind of like thing to it. For a while, one of my jobs was a behavioral interventionist. And I never liked that title. Not that I necessarily thought it minimized it too much, but I was like, oh, I don't.
I mean, not if I were outside of the field, I would think that you did have some kind of unique special training
Right.
that made you different than
Right. Then the 6
the
hours.
coordinator
Right.
or the
Right.
I don't know, some other title, right? If within the same company there's a mental health coordinator
Right.
and a behavioral specialist something,
Right.
in my mind they're very different.
Right.
But you're saying maybe they're actually the same, they just have different job titles.
Right. They're just doing different things.
Well, I mean, so it leads to confusion sometimes.
Right. Can't think of other minimizing ones other than provide. I mean, I do think provider sounds so strange, but
what do you think you would prefer? What would be a title that fits all the things you do and the things you know how to do and what you want to do?
It's a great question. If I can make up my own title,
Yeah, I don't know. Mine would be silly.
yeah, I would. That's what I was saying. I would go really like comical. I don't know if I can come up with something off the top of my head.
Or if I'm thinking, if one of my my kid clients were trying to do this with me, what title would they get? I think teasing me. Some of them would say like magic fairy mind reader,
right?
Slash really good colorer. I don't know. It would be,
So,
there's a lot of things.
As you're saying that, I was just reminded of something. I have a situation with a client that it's become kind of a fun little joke, but it's, I'm going to see my girl. And it's I mean, my client is of an older generation, and it's a very like instead of I'm seeing my guy, it's
Yeah.
I'm going to see my girl, and it's a funny joke amongst the couple that like that's what she's about to go do because she doesn't say in public, I'm going to see my therapist.
Yeah. Huh. Which all to me still sounds like I'm going to go see a guy about a
about
a little bit like your dealer.
I'm a dealer. There we go.
But maybe you're a dealer of what?
Hope. I'm a dealer of hope, Sarah.
Or reflection or insight.
Right.
I don't know. So the next point was something we kind of already touched on, that all these new titles are driven by corporate changes or cultural changes. So how have we shifted from, like even you were describing, that maybe it was something that shifted in you, but maybe it was also something that shifted in our culture, that you went from psychotherapist was prestigious and something you wanted to be called to, ew.
Right.
Kind of lame. I don't want to do. Don't call me that. Weird. So what are these changes? What happened? What are some words that we went from, we would never have used that to now we're using it? And it sounds kind of funny.
And I think it's kind of, especially in mental health, a reflection of like where we went as mental health, like as a whole. Like it's more open now. A lot of pediatricians are recommending that kids have counselors like outside of school and that you at least have one appointment so you're comfortable with the idea of counseling. I think that that's become more of like the
more mainstream.
Yeah, more mainstream. And so as that becomes more mainstream, taking some of the prestige away, it makes it more normalized. It makes it more like, you know, I mean, the clients that we see that come to see us, most of mine are pretty open about their therapy.
It's very generational, I think.
Right. I agree.
That right now, and it's some to do with just age, but also, I mean, maybe I'm saying age and generation in a confusing way, but like college age clients that I have, they're like, oh yeah, everybody I know has a therapist.
Absolutely. Yes.
That's very comfortable. They talk about their therapist and then have conversations with each other about their therapist
and what their friends know their therapist is named Heather. I mean, that's
right. Yes. But I also have some clients that are kids that are like more elementary school age, and they're confused about the word counselor.
Sure.
And they aren't aware that other people have counselors.
Right. It feels bigger.
Right. So with them, I start out and say, do you know anybody who's a counselor? And they look at me like, no.
Right.
And then I remind them, wait, don't you have a school counselor?
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, oh yeah, that lady.
Yeah.
That person.
Right.
But then I have to help them still kind of like massage that along and say, well, I'm kind of like that person, but I do something a little bit different.
Right.
And then we often, probably down the road a little bit, we often have conversations about, well, you know, your parents talk to a counselor, and they look at me like, what?
Right. They do?
Really?
Right.
Or they'll ask questions like, wait, do other kids come here? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Other kids come here. So other kids have counselors. Wow.
Right.
So I think, I mean, in one way, that's kind of our final point. We'll get there. That we're giving those kids the language, the words to talk about it. So you think in some ways the words or titles that we're using have become far more comfortable.
Right.
People are using them a lot more, but then we're also getting these weird corporate-y kind of words.
But even schools have changed. There's some schools out there now that they're not giving. So when I was in school, I got my master's in psychology with an emphasis in marriage and family therapy. That's how it's like worded or whatever. And you can get a degree in counseling, and you can get a degree, like, you know, you can get degrees in these things. But now there's one called mental health. You get
an undergraduate
degree in mental health. And I'm like, oh, that didn't exist when I went to school. Like that wasn't even,
I mean,
you could do sociology or psychology, but
so that's one part of what drives this, the education system.
Right.
My undergraduate degree is in rehabilitation studies.
Oh, that would make sense. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Nobody knows what that is.
Right.
If I care to explain, I'm explaining for the first time what that was or what it means. That it's like mental health, social work adjacent, but didn't really qualify me to do very much. But you're right. As the education system changes and adapts, it changes what we're calling ourselves or how we're explaining what we do. Do you think our licensure process in the United States is influencing the change in our education system?
Oh,
or
like
which one,
yeah.
which one came first?
Well, I mean, think back to now there's so many pop-up schools that really aren't accredited, really, and don't have like what they, like you can go get a degree in pretty much anything and think that you're gonna be able to jump into the workforce.
Could it be a balance? Because I think, yes, that's happening. And at the same time, for example, like in the state of Texas, I don't know how many years ago it was now. Maybe we're going on like almost 10, that the Professional Counseling Licensing Board eliminated the option that if you just have a degree that's related to mental health,
oh yeah,
you could apply and get this license. They don't allow that anymore.
Right.
I think that decision influenced school programs and went, okay, so
how can we still do a program? And
right, how can we have this program that we can't say is going to lead to a license? And I don't think that means that all schools got rid of those programs.
No, I think they're out there.
But they maybe changed their language a little bit to adjust for that. So maybe it's going so our education system, our licensure process. We earlier, before we started recording, we were talking about health insurance.
Oh, right.
That's the health insurance process, right? I think that's where the word provider comes from. So things like, a catch-all word that includes your dentist, your therapist, your counselor, your, I don't know, podiatrist. Everybody gets kind of clumped together as the person that we're going to reimburse for with your health insurance.
Right. You did this service, so here you go.
What if they called us that? What if they were like, the reimbursement part, or the reimbursed party?
Right.
The person who's reimbursed.
Right.
That really takes away from.
It really does.
Yuck.
It's yuck.
So the last point in our article that I think, I mean, this is the conclusion that I like in this article. And you and I were saying it's a really kind of existential idea that we define and are both defined by our titles all at the same time.
Right.
So if you are mama, that defines you, but also you define what mama is.
Right.
So the same would be true of counselor, therapist, psychotherapist.
Right. You get to
provider, whatever we're being called. That we have the ability to shape that and define what it is at the same time that we're being defined by it.
Right. I like that.
I mean, you and I talked about it throughout this episode, that we do that all the time when someone asks for our bio, for the website, for a presentation, for whatever. We have the ability to define,
to change what we want and give the information we want.
So right now, what does your bio say? If someone were to ask you for one,
let's see. I have to think about what my bio says on our website. I think it says that I am a marriage and family therapist.
Now that I'm thinking about it, I think on purpose, most recently, mine says counselor, play therapist, or something, but I put an emphasis on supervision.
Right. Like they supervise,
and that's what we are also. So if now thinking in light of this idea that sometimes those titles are given to us, we don't always like them, but we do have the ability to shape what title we use.
Or even to correct. Can we just gently.
Have you ever done that?
Yes, because I've been called doctor. And I feel like I have to go, oh, well, I'm not a doctor. Like, I feel like I have to like.
Do you know? My grandmother does that to me. She will introduce me to everybody in the world as, this is my granddaughter, and she's a doctor. And then everybody she says it to turns and looks at me either like, wow, you've gone to medical school, or like they're going to show me some body part that.
Right. You're like, nope, I don't want to know.
Not that kind of doctor. Don't show me.
Right.
Put your shirt down. Yeah. That I don't like that. Yeah. So I mean, when I can, I dodge that situation. So you correct sometimes. If you were thinking about rewriting your bio after today's episode, what would you call yourself?
I would have something really silly, like Queen Chaos Coordinator, Counselor, and your friend Heather.
Yeah.
What would you call yourself?
I don't know. But it does sound a lot more fun than listing out
all the things.
That maybe I'll change mine to say the fun thing
first,
comma.
Right.
all the technical stuff that,
right.
Yeah, minus provider.
I do know somewhere in my bio, it says that I'm married, and then it says something like married, and girlfriend too, like best friend and girlfriend or something like that. And I held on to that because I thought that was cute in the realm of marriage and family therapy.
Yes. Yeah. Context is really important, right?
Right.
I like that too.
I don't think I would normally do that. But
that is also like a really nice ending to this thought, is that we do define ourselves, and other things define us, but it's all about context.
Right.
That, sometimes if I'm talking to an insurance company, maybe I do need to say, I'm the provider.
I am provider 1, 2, 5, 3.
Right. But am I going to say that in my normal day-to-day work? No.
Right. Although it'd be funny if we just spent the day doing that for all of our insurance clients and all the people that have, yes, I'm your provider. Hi.
And your number. I'm provider 1, 2, 3, 4.
Right.
Well, Heather and I would love to hear your thoughts on this topic about titles. We'd love to hear what you and the people you work with like to call yourselves. And as always, we'd love to hear suggestions for future episodes. Thanks today for listening to Supervision with a Vision. You've been listening to Supervision with a Vision. Head on over to iTunes to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. Be sure to check us out on Facebook and Instagram at Therapy Academy to join the conversation and get show notes. We'll be back next week with more Supervision with a Vision.